Eugenie Sage.
E te
A
manga
5-minute call.
o te manga o te whare tēnā koe, tuarua ki ngā mema o tō tātou whare tēnā koutou katoa.
Kia ora.
Very pleased to take a short call on the Civil Defence and Emergency Management Amendment Bill. The Green Party is supporting the bill, and I join with others in wishing the Minister, the Honourable Nikki Kay, a very speedy recovery so that she can be back here to shepherd the bill through its further stages. I'm not on the Government Administration Select Committee, but from reading the submissions, the officials' reports, it's obvious that the issues that the 12 submitters raised were very carefully considered by the Select Committee under the very able chairing of the Honourable Ruth Dyson, and very pleased to see that a number of amendments have been made to the bill in response to a lot of the concerns that were raised in submissions. But as the Select Committee noted, this bill is the first stage of a wider review which the Ministry of Civil Defence and Emergency Management is doing into the statutory framework for recovery. And Treasury is leading a review of the Earthquake Commission Act, particularly in relation to compensation and large-scale events. And, Mr Speaker, I think there needs to be a lot more transparency around what is happening as part of those reviews. And in the Green Party, we certainly don't want to see a bill just dropped into the House, because there were a number of issues in terms of the way EQC operated in the Christchurch earthquakes, and the government needs to consult fully, given the importance of the levy payments and the funds that are available and the way that EQC operates. But that said about this subsequent stages, this bill we support because it is based on those 4 R's of civil defence and emergency management: risk reduction, readiness, response and recovery. And one of the major changes that the bill makes is to provide for a range of extraordinary powers to be available during a transition period, and to have this introduce this concept of a transition notice. And the period is to cover that period after the immediate response to the emergency and moving into that first phase of the recovery. And, Mr Speaker, these extraordinary powers, which override normal law, in the bill, they are not as extensive as the powers that are available during the state of emergency, but they are still significant. They include powers like being able to carry out works, to close roads and public places, to prevent people from entering land or areas, to secure buildings. And there was a strong call from submitters that there be much more collaboration and consultation between the Minister and local communities and local councils when the Minister made a decision, or before the Minister made a decision, to extend the transition period. And in Christchurch, we know how much it disempowers communities, it disempowers citizens, and it obstructs recovery where you have central government acting without consulting with the local community, where you have emergency powers or similar powers extending well beyond that immediate emergency into the recovery period, where you have government agencies making decisions without calling for submissions, without holding hearings where the public can face those people who are making decisions, put their views. It obstructs recovery if you have things being done to a community rather than being done alongside and with a community. So I was very pleased to see the Christchurch City Council's eloquent submission calling for a much more collaborative co-governance approach. The bill didn't make it that far, but the amendments that were made that require the Minister to actually consult with the local civil defence and emergency management group and with the mayor of an affected local authority before issuing or making that transition notice are a significant improvement. And would like to follow on from my colleague Jan Logie in terms of climate change. Sea level rise and climate change will increase the severity of flooding events. We need to tackle our emissions to reduce the likelihood of those events. Thank you.